Right, hi guys. It's August 27th, bank holiday weekend. I'm down on the plot again. I've actually been down here for about 2.5 hours now, pottering about and deciding what I'm going to do today. Can't do any real digging as such because I'm not right yet, but it's getting on my nerves now. This bed here needs a damn good weed and all that stuff needs coming out. Get some compost on the top of that and tickle it into the surface and put some weed suppressant membrane on, as in this bed. I need to put the weed suppressant membrane on that bed too before the weeds start growing again. Carrots are doing well. I'll leave them until the end of next month when I get my garlic, and then they'll come out and go into storage and the garlic will go where they are. That bucket of weeds there needs shifting. I've actually got me Swiss chard coming up, so hopefully I'll water those in a little while. If it doesn't rain, I'm just sort of holding off because it looks like it's going to rain, and if it does rain, it saves me a job. But if it doesn't, obviously I'll water them before I go home. It looks like we're going to get a nice crop of chard over the winter months. Yeah, I've already mentioned that bed. Let's not even go there. That's a disaster. My chard bolted, my spinach is bolted, although it's still giving some small edible leaves, but once they wilt down in the pan, there's no more than half a forkful, so it's not really worth picking. Okay, beans are going mad. The beans are going mad now. Look at the state of this. I don't know. What I've decided to do, because we're all beaned out in the freezer, we've no more room for things in the freezer because all the beans are in there, including the climbing French beans, which are here. Oh, look at that one. Need to pick that one. Take that one home before it gets any bigger. I've decided to let these runner beans just actually go to seed and dry out completely. They're easier to store when they're dry, and then I'll take them home, pod them, leave them on a tray somewhere on the dining room table, and leave them for about 5-6 days, 7, maybe 2 weeks, just to continue drying out, and then pop them into jars and store them in the cupboard. And then before we use them, we'll have to sort of soak them overnight for putting into stews and stuff over the winter period. That's about it. Apart from leeks, I've taken a few leeks home. As baby leeks are really, really sweet. Salted them down in a little bit of butter, salt and pepper with some spinach and chard leaves. Those that are harvestable anyway. And they were gorgeous. We had them last night with some, I don't know, it's actually called different things in different parts of England. Wiganers call it lobby, we call it potato rash in Lancashire. Other people call it tatty ash, other people call it corned beef ash. Call it what you will. It's just bung it cooking. Bung a load of carrots, peas, beans, potatoes, add some gravy, stick it in the slow cooker and cook it for 4 hours, and it's gorgeous. That's what we had last night. We had the chard with it as well. Gorgeous. Leeks are going to do us over the winter. I'm going to leave them in, and if the wife wants one, of course, or two, I'll come and dig them up, but otherwise they're just going to be left in until we need them over the winter. The carrots are doing well. Like I said, those are going to come out end of September. They'll come out. They'll go into storage. And hopefully my garlic will go in there. And I've ordered 2 cloves. Oh no, I've not. I've ordered 4 cloves from the seed company. So hopefully they'll vernalise. They need vernalisation to split into cloves. If you plant garlic in the spring, it just tends to grow like an onion. It doesn't split into cloves. But over the winter period, with the frost and the cold, it'll stop growing, and you'll think it's dead. But come next spring, it'll just pop up again and start growing away like mad. And you can harvest it in August or July, whichever, as soon as the tops start dying down. And if you leave it to dry out long enough, it should store for at least 8 months. String them up like onions, no problem. I've started rototilling this top half. I can't really dig yet. Usually the top half I'd dig it over and then rototill it, but I don't think it needs it this year. I mean, the soil's coming out fine enough anyway. It's not too bad. it's sticking together, and then it breaks up when you squeeze it, so it's, you know, it's it's not too bad at all. Could do with some organic matter in, which I'll put on. What I've decided to do, you know, this bottom half, when I'm going towards the no dig revolution, I'm going to sort of have an experiment, and the bottom half I'm going to do as a no dig thing, like Charles Dowding does, because they're only small beds and they're manageable. And the top half I'll just treat like a normal allotment. I'll put everything in rows, dig in organic matter, dig over the soil where I need to dig it over, and let's see what happens. Why not? I've gone off the idea of anybody that's seen any of my earlier videos said I was going to experiment with the moon sort of thing, the, you know, planting by the moon. Well, I've gone off that because there's loads and loads of videos on YouTube about planting by the moon, and every video you watch to get a different result. So I'm not quite convinced. Maybe next season I'll do that. The greenhouse, the tomatoes are still green, although we did have this morning, believe it or not, one red ripe tomato, and I took it off. It fell off in my hand, so it must have been ripe, and it was absolutely perfect. No blossom end rot, no anything. There's another one ripening there, see? Although that has got blossom end rot, so I'm going to take that off. You know, and I forgot my secateurs and my loppers, which I need today, so I went back home and I took this tomato home. And it didn't last very long because the wife cut it in half and we had half each. And very tasty it was too. So I'm looking forward to this lot sort of ripening. And then obviously I need to find a way of storing them, because I can't eat this many all at once. I don't know. Right, there's a fantastic saying. I've been watching the Wartime Kitchen Garden with Harry Dodson and Ruth Mott on YouTube, and there was a fantastic saying in there, and I totally agree. It says, eat what you can and can what you can't. In other words, preserve it. But, you know, if anybody out there has got any ways of preserving green beans, runner beans, string beans, leeks, tomatoes, carrots, other than the norm, you know, and me buying a pressure canner, which I'm not going to do because it'll have to come from the States and it cost me a blooming fortune. You know, please let me know. Leave your remarks in the comments below. I'd like to give a shout out now to Nigel at Muddy Boots. He's another one that's found my channel. He's kindly subscribed, so I'm now up to 40 subscribers. I'd like to get up to about 100, 120 before Christmas, if that's okay. So if you know anybody that likes gardening, put them onto my channel and ask them to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. I know the word subscription actually conjures up, you know, you've got to pay something, but you don't. And the guys that are putting these videos out do so out of love. They don't earn any money off it either. So there we go. Just subscribe. Share the videos with friends. You know, I put mine on Facebook as well as YouTube, and if they get shared around. But if there's anybody watching this video on Facebook, just go on to Bill's Basement Workshop, push the subscribe button. You'll see a little bell type icon at the side of the subscribe thing. If you click that and then you tick the box and press OK, you'll get notification when any video comes up, because YouTube has suddenly started not putting up new videos. They're leaving it up to us to notify people that there's a new video on the system, and that's the way they're doing it. So there we go. Right, I've rotivated top, I don't know, about the quarter, 3/4. I'm now going to sit down and have a cup of tea, and I'll bring you back later when we've finished. Right, hi guys, I'm back on the plot again. It's Tuesday the 29th of August, the day after bank holiday. Sorry about the wind if that's bothering you. It's around about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I know I said I'd show you the progress, I think, because the last time I was on here was Sunday the 27th, but instead of showing you the progress at the end of the day, I suddenly got a phone call and I had to dash home for a bit of a family emergency, but never mind, that's all resolved now. You don't want to worry about the beans and you know, because they're still doing well. This bed I'm hoping to get cleared out today. Just spending a couple of gentle hours down here. I've got some brambles on the fence at the back that I'm going to cut back and try and sort. But there's also quite a lot of I think it's thistle or something that's gone to seed there, so I'm trying to disturb that as little as possible, because the last thing I want is a lot of thistle seeds blowing onto everybody's plot. So there we go. So progress so far. The thing I did on Sunday, and here comes another allotment holder, Dave. I put quite a bit of compost and manure on this bed, as well as you've usually seen the paper that went on this, as well as all the shredded paper. Managed to get it covered over. This is supposed to be weed suppressant membrane that's permeable and lets water through, but as you can see, water droplets are on the top. So I don't know, I'm not too sure about that actually. Carrots are still doing well. Leek's got a little bit of rust on it actually. I hope that's not going to spread to the rest of the plant. I don't. Oh yeah, there's more plants with leek rust on as well. Not too sure what to do about that. If any of you guys watching the videos knows, then leave your comments below. I did manage to get this area tilled over. As you can see, all the soil's been tilled over. I need to rake it and level it off, and then just fill it full of wintergreen manure, apart from this little bit down here where my overwintering onions and garlic is about to go, as well as some garlic in that bed as well when the carrots come out. I should have dug it over. I know I should have dug it over. I should have started my autumn and winter digging, but I'm just not capable of digging at the moment. Not fit enough, so I got the rototiller out of the cabin and just let the machine do the work, basically. And it's not looking too bad, but it you know, I should have dug it over and sorted the weeds out, which is mainly grass anyway. You know, so I just rototilled the grass in. It will grow again, but then next year I'll dig it out and sort out, because it's an annual basically. So the more I hoe it off, the more I rototill it in, the quicker it'll die off. Take it in the greenhouse. Still no change there. I've got one or two tomatoes that are beginning to ripen. Here we go. There's one there. It's got some white spots on the leaves and some white spots on this fruit here. I'm hoping that is not a fungus. If anybody can see it, what I'm hoping it is the residue of the calcium that I sprayed out of that sprayer there onto the plants to stop the blossom end rot, or the blossom end rot. There you go. There's a couple of small tomatoes ripening there. The others are looking good. They're going quite shiny. A couple beginning to ripen on this vine here. There's one ripening there. Other than that, you know, what can I say? I need to pinch out this growing tip. I'll certainly take that out. Thank you very much. Because I don't think I want any more. This isn't. It'll probably get some small tomatoes on, but not many. I'll leave that and then take the growing tip out. I've had some comments on my videos, verbal comments, no written comments, that sometimes when I'm filming, the vertical lines seem to converge inwards. Well, there is a reason for that. If you're a photographer, you'll know it's because I'm using a little action camera, and it's got a 170 degree wide angle lens on it, and that's why it will actually look as though the vertical lines are converging. Believe me, nothing's falling down. It's not unusual. If you're a photographer like me, you'll know that. It's just that it is an extremely wide angle lens, 170 mil. You know, it really is. So there we go. That's it for an action camera. I could use my my phone, but I never actually do. Basically because it's a bit of a pain in the arse, and halfway through filming you usually get a phone call anyway. So there we go. That's what's happening in the greenhouse. Up to now. Yeah, you okay, Dave? That's the other allotment holder just saying good morning to me. What I'm going to try and do today is tackle this. Cut it back. I'll get the loppers and just beetle back into it. Hopefully I won't rip myself to shreds, but there we go. We'll see at the end of the day. I'm only down here for a couple of hours anyway. Got things to do at home, but you know, really had to get some fresh air because I was stuck in all day yesterday. Alright, that's it for now. I'll keep you posted on the progress, and in the meantime, as always, happy gardening. Okay guys, just to give you an update of what I've done. As you can see, everything's beetled back now. I've just cut everything away right back to the fence line. Got my raked out as much grass as I could. I think probably I'm going to go to the allotment shop and buy some weed killer and just give it a good spray, knock it down, although it should be dying down soon for the winter anyway. Down here I've revealed my water butt once again. So I'm going to need to actually move that. What I'm going to do is move it round to where this one is, and then this one is going to where the bin is, and then this sorry sight of guttering, which was put on the side of the shed by some DIYer that hadn't got a clue what he was bloody doing, and it's sloping the wrong way and dipping in the middle, is going to go into that butt, and then I'll redirect this one round here into that butt, and that way we can gain access to the water. This blue thing is what I last year I stuck all my weeds in and stuff, and it all fermented down and made some absolutely brilliant plant food. I just took the water from it and watered my plants for it, and all the nutrients obviously in the weeds had leached out. But now it's like half full of weeds and I can't shift it, so I'm going to have to get my garden fork or something and lift all these sludge and crap out of there. So I'm thinking to myself, it ain't going to smell very pleasant, but you know, it's a dirty job. Somebody's got to do it, and that somebody unfortunately is me. So there we go, that's the progress so far. I'll keep you up to date. It is still Tuesday the 29th, day after bank holiday. Other than that, I'll see you in a little while. Okay guys, just let me show you the progress so far. You know, I've been working at the back of the shed, in between the greenhouse and the shed. There you go, that's it. It's all tidied up there now. We can see what's happening. That there is all the sludge that I got out of the blue water barrel, believe it or not. That was all last year's weeds. They've all rotted down and gave me a feed for my vegetables last year. I don't think I'll be doing it again next season. Definitely not doing it this season. There we go. I've moved the water butts. Let me just come around the other side, then you can see them. There you go. And that one, unfortunately, the tap's leaking. So I've got two choices. I either get a new tap, which I can do from off the internet. It's just a universal water butt tap, really. They don't cost much. Or I can bring some silicone sealant down and try to fix it that way. But I'm toying around with the idea of just buying a new tap, basically. Just putting it on won't take 5 minutes. But never mind. There you go, there's the two bins. This blue bin, I'm thinking of putting in the centre there, because I've just noticed on the smaller water butt there is a hole, possibly where another water butt was connected at the other side of it, and that drains out. If I put a drain on there, then it can drain all the excess water into this bin here. I'm sorry about that. I think I spun you around a bit too fast. And anybody that's feeling dizzy, I do apologise. Well, that's it so far. It's now 1 o'clock in the afternoon, thereabouts. I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes, have myself a beer and a rest, then I'm going to pack all the tools away and head off home, I think. I've done enough for today. I was going to clear that bottom bed like I said, but I don't think I'll bother. That'll come later in the week if the weather's okay. There we go. Those are all the weeds that we got from the back of the greenhouse and from in front of the fence that I've just shown you. Other than that, I'm just going to leave them there to dry out, and then later on, maybe next month or so, we'll just have a big bonfire and burn all the lot, and then the ashes can go back onto the beds. So that's it for now. Like I say, I'm just going to sit down and have a beer, and then I'll pack all the tools away and I'll go home. See you later. Alright guys, I'm going to be heading off home in a minute, but before I do, just wanted to show you this. Sorry if the wind's making a noise, it's picking up because I think it's going to start raining. See my runner beans looking really lush and healthy, and yet my climbing French beans are all knackered in yellow. I'm just wondering what's happening there. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. One person said it could be a lack of nitrogen in the soil, but why? Why would it be a lack of nitrogen in the soil if the runner beans are all nice and green and lush, although they are looking a bit pale, they're probably going over by now, and you know, the French beans aren't. Surely if there's enough nitrogen in the soil, or there's a lack of nitrogen in the soil, then the runner beans will also be showing signs of yellowing, but they're not. Oh well, if anybody knows what's happening out there, then please leave your comments in the box below, and let me know what's happening. Always willing to learn off other people that are more experienced than myself, obviously. That's the way things progress, isn't it? Knowledge is passed on from one person to the next. Alright, that's it for now. Don't forget to like, and above all, share and subscribe.